In this video, I'm going to show you how I built an IoT device using the ESP8266 NodeMCU board and a Blynk app on my smartphone. I'm going to show you how it works and everything, and if you are interested in IoT, then I recommend you watch this video to the end. This project is something I built for my friend who urgently needed an IoT project. By the time we ordered the parts and they arrived, we had like 2 days to get the device working. I worked all night to build this, and by the next day it was tested okay. So what is the IoT architecture here and how does it work? Well, I have the Blynk app on my smartphone already set up. I make sure to turn on my data connection so that my phone is connected to the internet. When I press a button on the app, that instruction goes to the IoT cloud, which is basically the server on the Blynk website. On the cloud, that instruction is processed so that the instruction goes to the correct ESP8266, because there are so many ESPs connected to the Blynk server as well. On the hardware side, I have the ESP8266, which is the brain of the device, and it is also Wi-Fi enabled. I connect it to the hotspot of a router or a smartphone. That way my IoT device goes to the internet through Wi-Fi. Now, as my ESP is connected to the internet, that instruction from my phone, which is on the Blynk server, will then get forwarded to the ESP8266. When the instruction arrives, the EXP will execute it based on what I've written in the code. And for this project, my code says it should drive the relays to switch some light bulbs on and off. For this project, I have used the following components: ESP8266 NodeMCU board, which is a microcontroller board that is Wi-Fi enabled. I've used a mini breadboard where my ESP is connected, jumper wires, breadboard wires, a 4-channel relay board, an LED to indicate that the ESP is electrified, and a resistor for that LED, a power supply unit which I have gotten from a smartphone charger, a Patres bus to house my project, the loads, which in this case is the lamp holders and the socket. I also have some flex wires for connecting the load, and then a smartphone with the Blynk app on it, and a computer with the Arduino IDE for editing and uploading code. Here is the circuit diagram showing the components and how they are connected. On the circuit, you can see that the 220 volts coming from the main socket goes to the converter, and we get an output of 5 volts DC from there, and that 5 volts goes to the ESP and the relay boards as well. I added an LED to the ESP to indicate when power comes to the ESP board. Next, we have 4 wires going from the ESP to the relay board for the 4 channels of the board. And then you can also see how I have connected 3 lamps to represent the 3 loads which I have on my device. One challenge I encountered is trying to use the ESP board on a breadboard. The pins would not fit, and if they do, there would be no free pins by the side of the ESP where I can connect wires. To overcome this challenge, first I had to bend the pins of the ESP slightly inwards, gently and carefully. Secondly, I had to mark where the pins of the ESP would fit into the breadboard. Then I made the connections before placing the board. This means that my connections go under the ESP8266 board. The connections under the board is just to make the ESP pins accessible. Then I used a normal jumper wire to connect them to the relay board according to my circuit diagram. I have already set up my Blynk app. I use Android, so I downloaded the Blynk app from Google Play Store for free. And if you use an iPhone, you can get the iOS version from the App Store. Once you have the Blynk app, open it and create an account with your email ID, then click on New Project. It is important you create an account with your email because they will send you an authentication code to your email, which you will include in your code. When you click New Project, you enter the name you'd like to call your project. Select your board type as NodeMCU, set your connection type as Wi-Fi, and once you are done, you click on Create. Now your new project has been created. You can see the name of the project at the top, and you can start adding some buttons. To write the code, I needed the ESP8266 library and also the Blynk library. So I opened my Arduino IDE and I go to Tools, then Library Manager, and at the Library Manager I search for Blynk. I see the Blynk library and I install it. As you can see, it is already installed. I also do the same, search for ESP8266 library and I install it. Now on the main code itself, it's short and easy. The Blynk library does most of the heavy lifting. You can see the ESP8266 library and the Blynk library are included. There is an authentication variable here and its value is the authentication code sent to your email. You have to copy the authentication code sent to your email and paste it here as the value of this authentication variable. Another variable here is the SSID of the Wi-Fi, which you want to connect to the ESP, and then the password of that Wi-Fi. You enter them within the double quotes because they are character variables. Below, what you can see is that our digital pins are initialized. In the setup function, you can see that our relays are set as output pins and the blink.begin function handles the rest. So I select my board type, I select the availability port, and then I upload my code. It will take some time to compile and then upload, and after the upload I test my device and it works. Let's check from D1 to this. From D2 to this point.